你需要鼓励你的员工吗？你需要做简报来吸引客户、投资者或者是伙伴们吗？那让今天的单元来教大家该如何利用 drama 来做一个难忘的简报开头。Hello， 欢迎来到 Executive Plus 主管双语沟通力的 podcast。我们希望带给大家最实用的沟通工具，包括了成功人士对全球市场的分享、职场英语的技能、跨文化沟通技巧与其他能帮助您成为出色领导者的工具。Hi, I'm Sherry, founder of Executive Plus. As a language trainer and certified coach, I've trained hundreds of managers from Fortune 500 companies such as Dior, Google, Deloitte, and Yahoo.
And I'm Nick, Director of Communication Strategy at Presentality. I've helped startups raise millions of US dollars in funding and train the executives of publicly listed companies to present on the global stage.
Welcome to the Executive Plus podcast,
where you can take your communication and language skills from good to great. Hey everyone, welcome back to Executive Plus Podcast episode 61. Today is the wrap-up of our 4-part series on how to start presentations. And we're going to look at how you start a presentation that is meant to motivate or entertain. And to do that, we're going to take a page out of famed comedy director Judd Apatow's book, where he says that even when writing a comedy, it's all about creating drama.
那不知道大家对于他的电影有没有什么特别的印象？那我大概的讲了几个好了。Actually, Liar Liar by Jim Carrey, Bridesmaid, 40-Year-Old Virgin, Trainwreck, and of course, many others. 所以它的重点就是，当你要去娱乐大家的时候，还有一个很重要的东西，也就是这个剧情，这个 drama。这个 drama 里面也会有这种英雄啊，英雄碰到坏人啊，他的冒险、困难啊，他的战争、他的 battle， 还有他的自我成长，这些元素都还是要在里面，才能够真正的去娱乐人家，或者去鼓励人家。
If any of you listened to our World Storytelling Day episode, we interviewed my business partner Andrew on what's a good story arc that you can use when telling stories. And he talks about the two main ones are the hero's journey, which is what you see most Hollywood movies produced on this basic story arc. There's a lot of literature on it. The other one, which he's been helping teams develop, we call the hero's valley. And it's looking at how you describe your journey in terms of encountering obstacles and getting over them. If you haven't listened to that episode, go back and listen to it. But today, we're going to use the basic steps of the hero's valley to learn how to tell a story that creates drama and gets into people's head as a great way to start a presentation.
所以我们就来利用一下 Andrew 上次跟大家分享的英雄峡谷的这种故事结构，来帮助大家去创造一个很不同的一个简报的开头，尤其是当你需要去鼓励人家，你要去 motivate 人家，或者是你要去 entertain 别人的时候。So for the Hero's Valley, how does it go again? Could you just give us a really quick summarization of that?
The quick points that you're looking at in the Hero's Valley is you start out by describing the everyday situation, and then you talk about a struggle or an obstacle that gets encountered and then drops a person into a bad place, whether it's, a valley of despair or a feeling of no way out or a problem that's so painful that it feels like it can never be overcome. And then after you've described that, you talk about the next step, which is a little bit a light of hope, a realization, a sudden understanding that helps you climb out of that hole to get to a better place.
那我们就是利用这样子的故事的结构，那其实很简单，一刚开始也就是英雄的每一天的生活，然后呢，他就遇到了一个挑战，他跌入了谷底，那他怎么从谷底爬出来，到达他人生的高峰。So we're going to use some very simple phrases, 一些句子的句首的一些片语方式来教大家该怎么样去 create 这个故事的结构。
The first step of the hero's valley is to describe what's going on now. What's the current situation? So a very simple phrase that you can use is, every day, this is what I do. Or every day, we do this thing.
接下来就是当你遇到很大的挑战，我们就可以讲说 I was fed up with. I was fed up with.
Right, like you got tired of something, or you want to describe that obstacle or this like problem that you're running into. Then the next step is to describe the worst part of this. It's not enough to like, I'm just fed up, but then you get into the details. The worst thing was. The worst thing was. You talk in detail or in specifics about how bad this problem was.
那再接下来你要从谷底爬出来，所以你发现了什么？你发觉了什么事情？ So you can say, I realized.Yeah, so your realization, right?
Right, that sudden hope or that sudden understanding. I realized something.
那当然最后面也就是你的人生高峰，那很简单，你就可以讲 now, and then 你去 describe 你现在到达的一种高峰啊，或者是你从谷底爬出来，你可以 reach 到的一个什么样的状态。
So, by using this basic story arc in these sentences, you can tell an interesting story about how you went down into the valley, the dark place, and how you got back up, and how today is better. Let me give you a quick example of how this worked. If you've ever seen an interview with the founders of Twitch TV, which is now the largest video game streaming platform. They sold to Amazon for $1 billion. It sounds like a total success story. But when they go back and tell their own story, you actually see this valley and how terrible it was. And usually if you hear them talk about the switch from Justin TV to what became Twitch TV, it sounds a little bit like this. Every day, the founders of Justin TV would work hard to find more people to get onto their live streaming platform and share their daily lives, more vlogging style, but in real time. And they really got fed up with constantly trying to either vlog their own life, live stream their own life, or find people who are willing to be radically transparent, just show everything that they can do, and it was costing them a lot of money. And the worst part was, it was costing them so much money to keep the servers open for more and more people to be on the platform that they were down to less than a month's worth of money to keep running their business. The CTO would go home feeling depressed, and one day he realized that the only thing he used his own platform for, the technology that he built, was to watch other people play video games. And that this was his de-stressor. So he went back, he talked to his team, and he said, we should refocus the platform to move from all types of live streaming and live sharing just to video games. And when they focused, they were able to find investors who were willing to back them a little bit to keep going. Until now, Twitch TV is one of the most visited websites in all of the internet, and they were able to sell their company for $1 billion to Amazon. You can see through this story arc very simply, all these phrases were used to talk about what was the current situation or what was their past situation, what was the obstacle they encountered, how terrible it was to be in that place, and then how they climbed out to a better today.
所以如果你跟着这个英雄峡谷的这个故事的结构，你就可以去创造一个非常不一样的简报开头。你也可以去鼓励你的员工，或者可以去 entertain 大家。So I really hope you guys like our episode today. And yeah, we'll talk to you guys later.
For more people interested in the Hero's Valley, we will link a document where you can follow along the steps in the show notes. So don't forget to check those. And if you have a moment, please subscribe on Spotify or leave us a review on Apple Podcasts so we know what's interesting to you. We hope that you enjoyed this 4-part series on how to start presentations strong. And we'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.
Bye. 如果你喜欢我们的 podcast， 欢迎来追踪我们的主管英文 Executive Plus 的 Facebook。 那也可以写信到我们的信箱yourcareerplus@gmail.com。